and my situation's changed throughout the years. I've had so many different atmospheres evolve in wrestling, from the XPW days to the NWE Wildside days to CZW to PWU to the Wildcat days. And that's not including doing the big shows and working with companies like WWE and et cetera like that, or TNA or Ring of Honor. Like there's all those experiences too. But, the game's changed so much, it's evolved, and the things we've seen in the business have been so crazy. I mean, the XPW days were crazy alone, right? You know about the porn star, the drugs, the this, the that. And that was my first, opening to things. When you go into, I went from independent shows in Louisiana that were drawing 20 people, 30 people, 40 people with these turds that literally couldn't put a headlock on properly to going into a stage like XPW where there's 3,000, 4,000, even 5,000 people there sometimes at these big shows at the Grand Olympic Auditorium, and these workhorses, and there's girls around, there's drugs around. It's crazy how the times have changed since then, because you go in back then and guys were openly doing New Bane or cocaine or these crazy. It's just this rock star party atmosphere to where now you go in and guys don't even do drugs anymore, which is cool. I never did drugs, so it was back then, I was the guy that wasn't partying. I was the guy that was going, I'd hang out with everybody, but I'd go to sleep early, or I didn't even drink back then. I drink now, but I didn't drink back then. So these guys would be, party all night, do a show the next day, stay up, no sleep all night, do the show, party again all night. So for me, that was out of my atmosphere.
Yeah, and it's especially different now because of social media. And, back then, everyone didn't have a smartphone that could take 1080p video of dudes doing drugs next to them.
Right. And it happens, bro. It happens. Exactly. But that was everything back then. That was, if you were in films, if you were in rock bands, if you were rappers, if you were, I couldn't tell you how many times I've been someplace that was in some kind of form of entertainment, and you see some guy doing something. That was just what they did. There was no second, thoughts about it. And if you came from the outside world, it was crazy to you. But it wasn't crazy to see your uncle do it on the couch at your house, what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this guy's a celebrity and he's doing this. Yeah, well, he ain't no different than, Uncle Joe, who's over here snorting some cocaine in the bathroom. I don't know about how you grew up, but I grew up crazy, bro. My life was wild. So, my parents would, drugs, alcohol, fights, jail, in and out. Everything was constantly nuts. So, not just in I'm talking life. I was just telling this story earlier about I came home, and actually I didn't even come home. I was home, and the guy who was watching me OD'd, so I had to sit in the house with a dead body for hours before my mom and them got home.
Oh, shit.
That guy was just sitting there dead on the couch. I'm like, yeah, he'd been like that for hours. He wouldn't wake up,
Oh my God. How old were you at this time?
In that 8 to 10 range. A lot of stuff happened in the 10-year-old range. So it's just a crazy life, and that there's not too many things that can shock me nowadays because I've seen so much growing up.
Yeah.
I remember being in XPW and being with a guy like Supreme, right? Supreme had this reputation of just knocking dudes out. And you go back and watch all those XPW promos, guys would come out the hallway and be Supreme just cleaning house. Boom, boom, boom. Just legit, just punching guys in the face. He would, him and Pogo were these basically exterminators in XPW. You know what I mean? They were told to run through dudes and just beat dudes' asses. So, and I'm not gonna say nobody was rough with me, but I wasn't getting that aspect from him. Partly it's because I was in with Vic, but partly is too because I can hold my own. Guys don't want to test somebody. A lot of people pick on guys they know they pick on, and I'm not saying Supreme and Pogo ever picked on any guys. They weren't like that, not at all. But they were tough sons of bitches, and if you wanted to be involved with them, you had to be able to keep up with them. And I'm not talking from a work rate. I'm not talking about an Arn Anderson going in there and having a 5-star match. I'm talking about if you wanted to be an XPW, you had to be tough. So they were going to beat your ass to make sure you were tough and that you could hang. There was no exceptions, right? It wasn't like, oh, we're going to, look at Angel. I'm surprised Angel's still walking, bro. I'm surprised Angel's still living. You seen all the crazy, you go back and you look at the hardcore homo, Angel, his character.
Yeah.
And all the things he did in XPW, from getting powerbombed off of balconies, legit, and missing tables and landing on concrete. I seen this dude messed up so many times from all these bad bumps he did. He was tough, bro. You couldn't kill him. But that was back then. That was tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had to do that stupid shit to prove that you were tough. And like nowadays, it's kind of stupid, right? Like, why let somebody hit me across the stomach with a weed whacker to show how tough I am?
Yeah.
Like,
What does it do?
Yeah, what does it do? Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, especially if you're getting paid like a couple $100. Is that worth a couple $100?
I mean, for me, look, I did my first death match. I got paid $300. For me, I was like, holy shit, $300. You know, but I wasn't making that kind of money. I had to go work. I had to literally work for like almost a week to make $300 after taxes.
Yeah.
So for me, I was like, shit, I'll do a death match. I didn't want to do death matches, but like to get paid $300. Hell yeah.